Hi everyone, I'm Neve Holcroft and I'd like to welcome you to this tutorial video for Block 9 of the Scheepjes Spring Forward Make-Along, designed by Irene of Handmade Past. The written pattern for this block, the Cable Hearts block, is available on Irene's website. An ad-free PDF version of the whole pattern is also available from Irene's Ravelry and Etsy stores. Links are in the description below. In this tutorial, we'll be making the Cable Hearts pattern. You'll need a cable needle for this pattern, but don't worry if you don't have one. A double-pointed needle works just as well. In this tutorial, I'll be using Scheepjes Chunky Monkey yarn in the colour cream. I'll cast on a few stitches to make a small swatch of part of the actual pattern so you can see how the stitches and technique work. Here I have my small swatch. I've cast on enough stitches for the edge stitches together with a cluster and a set of hearts. I've worked to the end of row 3, which is just basic knit and purl stitches as instructed in the pattern. I now have the right side of my work facing me, ready to begin row 4, which is the first row of the hearts pattern. So I'm going to purl my first 4 edge stitches, split the yarn there, going to knit the next 3 stitches, purl the next stitch. I'm now in the correct position to make a 2 over 2 right cross stitch. Going to slip the next 2 stitches purlwise onto the cable needle and hold them at the back of the work. I'm going to knit the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle. Now going to knit the next stitches from the cable needle. Going to purl the next stitch. I'm now in the correct position to make a 2 over 2 left cross. Going to slip the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle onto the cable needle and hold them at the front of the work. Knit the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle and knit the 2 stitches from the cable needle. And I'm now in the position to purl my 4 edge stitches. Here we are at the beginning of row 5, which is a wrong side row. Basically we're going to purl and knit our way across the row as the pattern instructs. So I'm going to knit my first 4 stitches. And purl my next 4 stitches. And you can see what's happening here. We're knitting and purling the stitches as they appear on the needles. So my next stitch is a knit stitch. I now have 4 purl stitches. You can just see the 4 purl bumps in there. I now have 1 knit stitch, and now 3 purl stitches. And lastly 4 knit stitches. The next few rows are basically knit and purl your way across as the pattern instructs. And then I'll meet you at the beginning of row 10, which is the next pattern row. Here we are at the beginning of row 10, which is a right side row, and the next pattern row. On this row we're going to make a 3-stitch cluster and another 2/2 right cross and 2/2 left cross. Going to purl my first 4 edge stitches. I'm now in the correct position to make my 3-stitch cluster. Pop the yarn at the back and slip the next 3 stitches onto the cable needle. We're going to take our working yarn and wrap it counterclockwise once around the stitches on the cable needle. I'll show you that again. Slip the 3 stitches onto the cable needle. Take your working yarn from the back, wrap it once counterclockwise around the stitches on the cable needle and hold it at the back. Slide your 3 stitches over the cable needle to the opposite end and slip the stitches from the cable needle onto the right hand needle. See how your yarn's at the back? you're going to now purl the next stitch from the left hand needle. We're now in the position to make a 2/2 right cross. Pop the yarn to the back of the work, slip the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle onto the cable needle and hold them at the back of the work. Knit the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle. And now knit the 2 stitches from the cable needle. Purl the next stitch from the left hand needle. We're now in the position to make a 2/2 left cross. Pop the yarn to the back, slip the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle onto the cable needle and hold them at the front of the work. Knit the next 2 stitches from the left hand needle. Knit the next 2 stitches from the cable needle. Now I'm in the position to purl my last 4 edge stitches. Now you can just see the little heart form in there. And your cluster, you can just see 1 strand of yarn on the front. And you should have 2 strands of yarn on the back. Here we are at the beginning of row 11, which is the next wrong side row after the pattern row. So we're basically just going to purl and knit our way across as the pattern instructs. I'm going to knit my first 4 edge stitches. Now I'm going to purl my next 4 stitches. You can see the next stitch is a knit. And the next 4 stitches are purl. My next stitch is a knit stitch. And if you just peek behind your strands, you can see the next 3 stitches are purl stitches. Now being careful not to catch that strand, purl these stitches that are the cluster. And now I'm in the position to knit my last 4 edge stitches. And you can see that nice little heart forming there. And this is the bottom of the next heart. Thank you for joining in with this make-along. You can find more support from Irene, the mod team, and the members in the Scheepjes Facebook groups, where we hope you'll share photos of your work with the hashtag #SpringForwardMal.